Alright guys, we have Colton visiting, of course, with the RS5. This might be the last time we see it, I don't know. It's for sale. If you guys are looking for an RS5, well, look no further. Yeah, this thing's cool. So, it looks like we might be doing a quick little swap. I'm taking probably the RS5, and then Colton's going to take the Golf R, but I definitely kind of want to see his reaction just to at least starting it, because it's quite an experience to at least hear it. All right, so we're gonna put some heat in the old Golf R motor. This will certainly be a cold start. The valves help a little bit.
And they do help a lot.
Yeah. Don't worry. How much gas does it say I have?
You're above. You have plenty.
Oh, I got a tick. Yeah, that'll make us to Durham. All right, squad. I'm gonna take this thing for a little spin. Ugh. It's been a minute, guys. Last time I took one of these out, it was 2017. All right. All right. Yeah, the one thing to know is the spoiler in the rear is has a bit of a fault, but aside from that, I think it's time to go. All right off the bat, guys, this thing is super smooth. You know, what would you expect, right? I love the little soundtrack too. We got the Golf R behind us as well. The only thing is we got some obstacles to avoid. Another thing I just have to remind myself is this is low. I don't know how low it is, but the Golf R is definitely on the lower side of things. But yeah, guys, it's mad cool to be back in one of these. The last time I drove it was back in California in Santa Monica. We had it for I think just a day or 2 days, so I wasn't given too much seat time in it. In LA, if you want to get anywhere, it takes far too long, and it's a pain in the neck. So really, I didn't have that much experience driving it, aside from a couple light pulls on the highway. We're not going to go too crazy in this thing, but guys, there's no hiding it. This is definitely one of my dream cars, and obviously driving it today is a super cool treat. And I do obviously want to thank Colton for being so kind. And he gets to experience the Golf R, which is also plenty fun, because the Audi doesn't have the torque the Golf R does. However, the Audi has the power, and the Golf R doesn't have the power necessarily. So it's kind of a cool trade-off. But I'm just cruising in this thing. It's in drive, and it's making all the right noises. Oh man, it's quite a cool experience. Now, another thing that I love so much about this car is obviously the engine itself. The engine is so unbelievably cool. It's not like your standard 4.2 liter V8 that you find in the S5 or the R8. This is literally a V10 that got lopped off, 2 cylinders lopped off, and creates this symphony, this amazing orchestra. To put into example, these rev matching downshifts. Guys, that was only 2,500 RPMs. I mean, like, that was just barely touching 3. Oh my God. It definitely gets a lot more looks than the Golf R, I'll tell you that. It's a really, really nice white paint. It has, as you guys can see, it has been unwrapped. I kind of wish I was filming more of this, guys, but it's so hard to. I don't know what to say. I'm so speechless driving this thing. I mean, guys, this is literally one of the coolest cars I think money can buy. I don't have any complaints about it. I mean, the only complaints maybe I would say is just how big it is. I don't need anything this size, and I think the size for a coupe, it's just like, what? Like, really, just like, it only has like really, I mean, I don't know how usable those back seats are. And maybe I'm just kind of comparing it to the fact that, like, I am cruising with my Golf R. It's right near us, and But damn, this thing just coasts too. I just took my foot off the throttle and it just kind of just keeps coasting. I assume maybe that kind of helps with I guess the gas mileage, because I can understand where this thing having bad gas mileage is possibly evident. I don't know. Could it be from that V8? I don't know. Could be. But guys, this thing is just so much fun. I mean, I could just spend all day, and I don't want to do it because, as you guys know, transmissions get hot, but I could just downshift this thing all day. I mean, come on, guys. Ready? Hold on. Just get a little bit of a... Who thought that was an idea? I mean, who came up with that idea? That's awesome. I mean, the rev matching makes sense. Gets you ready for, obviously, your lower gear, your gear below. I completely understand why that's a thing. Now, whoever came up with this idea for this car, brilliant. I can just hear my Golf R. My car is loud. Now, there's a difference between being loud and just sounding good. This thing sounds good and is loud. I think in a rev match, this thing would 100% have it. I believe it does have headers, and I think it's, I know it's the titanium exhaust package, so it has that going for it. But just cruising, oh my god. And it just has like this really just super pleasant, like blah, 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 like you know your standard V8 sound, but when you rev it out, that's where you get kind of that nice, high V10 sound, high revving V10, which is, it's super unique because it just, again, it really has its own way of noise, and I love it. I mean, this thing is just so cool. And we decided we were gonna take the cars to Durham, which is my old stomping ground. Definitely not try to get any looks, no. 25 miles per hour. It just sounds so damn good. What more could you want, guys? I mean, it's so cool. The only thing, like I said, the size and very likely the kind of gas mileage. It's not the worst, but it's just not the best. So that's just something to be known, but it's also to be expected. All right, so we came back to this really cool, I don't know, backdrop area. You guys will probably see some posts on the little Instagram page, but yeah, so we'll probably just leave it with some final remarks. Obviously, Colton, how do you like the Stage 2 Golf R?
It's honestly insane. The torque, the low end torque is totally different from having just a stupid fat V8. But it's
a nice sounding fat V8,
yes,
mind you.
100%. But I miss having a turbo. That's one thing that I definitely miss, is like all the sounds and whooshes that it makes and everything. It's super fun, and the DSG farts are ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you don't get necessarily the rawness that you get out of the RS5, obviously. This thing is pure, it's raw, it makes all the right noises, you get the rev matching downshifts. I mean, you rev it out to really unlock the potential. So I mean, this is the most engaging for a very, as the kind of Audi started to become extremely digital when this thing came out. Just the wide stance, I mean, the fender flares in the rear, I don't know if you guys can see that, the video's picking it up so well, but this thing protrudes a lot more than an A5 S5. In fact, it's pretty much this gap right here, right? That's extended.
That's really the only piece that, other than obviously on the front fenders too, but right, that's one of the only differences other than the front and rear lip that you can, tell an RS5 between an S5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, obviously to the Golf R, really, this is just a Golf with a little more spice. I mean, looks-wise, it's the same. It's not any more aggressive, aside from a slightly more aggressive front and rear end, and of course some of the mods that were done to it. But at that, these are two similar but different cars. And a lot of people do say that an all-wheel drive German car is going to drive like every other all-wheel drive German car, but realistically you couldn't be more wrong by saying that, because these are such different vehicles.
Power's way more accessible in the Golf.
Right, yeah.
This, you have to, like you said earlier, you have to earn it.
You do, yeah.
So it's like, and it obviously is a totally different sound. You get turbo sounds with this, crazy DSG farts, backfires, all that stuff. This is just a rowdy, obnoxious V8. Yeah. But the power delivery is so different between the two. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is this. I was shocked by how light it feels. I think it's probably because I'm used to driving a 4,000-pound car, but
Right.
I was really, really impressed in the corners. There was no, like, you know, there wasn't any intrusive understeer or anything like that. It felt very balanced, it's such a perfect daily. I love this car.
Yeah, and this thing is pretty much standard weight. You know, the exhaust and everything. You know, most people do weight reduction and they get a lighter exhaust. You know, but everything that's been done to it hasn't really necessarily helped with the weight. So this is all factory weight, and at 3373, I believe, is the curb weight for this type of vehicle. With the DSG is, you know, it's not super light, but it's also not very heavy, and it's also, you know, from my experience, obviously driving this thing today, this thing did feel a little bit heavier, but that being said, the suspension was pretty butter smooth. Yeah, I could see this thing being a fantastic car on a long road trip. The seats are very comfortable. They also look super nice, and you have some cool RS5 inserts right on the rear as well, on the seats and the backrest.
Those are actually just stickers.
Oh, they are. They're stickers.
Yeah.
Oh, you told me that. That's good. Well, you know what? They pop up, and I actually, one of my buddies just did this to his S4. So I mean, I like it. You know what I mean? Makes it stand out. But yeah, this thing is quite a package, and you know, if you guys are interested, I think I'll probably just leave your Instagram handle below so people can reach out to you directly. But this is for sale, unfortunately, but fortunately, because we won't say what's next, but it's going to be something cool. It's going to be much faster. Definitely faster than this thing, probably even standard. They're just so capable, and this thing is just an absolute beast. It's going to be sad to see her go, but maybe we'll see one of these, you know, maybe in a year or so.
We'll see how much we miss it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might bring one back. Well, who knows? But yeah, this thing's an absolute hoot. It's in great shape, guys. This is, what color is it? Anthracite, or they do some cool names.
I don't remember exactly what the color code is.
Glacier white.
It might be glacier white.
Yeah, it might be glacier white, and then has some cool black trim on it as well. Obviously the blacked out grille, mirror caps, and so on.
Titanium exhaust too.
Oh, that's the best. And the titanium exhaust and headers, right?
Yes.
Yep, headers. Yep. Yeah.
High flow caps.
Oh, this thing is an absolute peach. So huge thanks to Colton for coming out here today, and obviously letting us experience this absolute beast. Hopefully I opened it up enough for you guys, and if not, certainly let me know, and we might make something happen. Maybe the drag strip, you know?
Oh yeah.
We should definitely go. That'd be good fun for sure. So anyway, we'll leave it there, but appreciate you guys for watching. Peace.